Some of the analysts that we've been speaking to have been saying that Russian companies tend to trade at a 30 to 40% discount when you compare the prices to some of their global counterparts because of these investor concerns when it comes to corporate governance, weak institutions. Are you hoping that your admittance to the FTSE 100 will help dispel some of those fears?
Well, look, we've done a lot of work over the last few years on corporate governance, on transparency, and on making sure that our investors understand our business. I mean, we've been listed actually since 2005 on the international section of the London Stock Exchange. So for us, this is a move to the premium listing is, let's say, a further step in this development. Yes.
Now, there seems to be this widely held opinion amongst many analysts that you chose to list on the FTSE 100 to essentially help major shareholders to sell out from the company. Is that the case?
Well, it's a question more to them, I guess, but that's, we never discussed that, and that does not seem to be the case to me.
Do you expect any changes with regards to Mr. Roman Abramovich's stake of some, well, actually more than 35% of Evraz?
Yeah, I don't expect any changes. Look, the main reasons why we decided to list in the premium section and join the FTSE are to strengthen, let's say, the liquidity of our shares and to make sure that we have a more solid base.
And in a sign, I suppose, of the kind of volatility that your company is hoping to escape, we've seen more uncertainty surrounding domestic politics in Russia, with President Dmitry Medvedev ordering an investigation of the alleged parliamentary election fraud. Just talk to me a little bit about how this might impact financial stability in the coming months and the ability of Russian groups to raise equity in initial public offerings.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I can tell you about our company. We, as I mentioned, have no plans for any issuance, either primary or secondary. So we're not looking to go to the equity markets. And the change that we have taken, I mean, we were a Luxembourg company, and we have now moved to London. So let's say we have not changed our relationship to Russia through this move. Our concern is more on the ability to refinance our debt, and that is our bonds.
All right, so I know that you say you're not planning any primary or secondary issuance, and I suppose to some extent you do have this advantage being listed now on the FTSE 100. But nevertheless, you are, of course, exposed to that market in Russia. How concerned are you about this rising political risk?
Well, at the moment, we're not particularly concerned. I mean, what you mentioned in your introduction was a description of the risks in our prospectus, and I guess the risks also remain. The developments of the last few days, I think, if anything, show that the people are able to express their dissent in a civilized way. So, we hope this will be a process that will be in control.
Are you concerned at all about slowing economic reform in Russia, or indeed a lack of consensus between the president, the government and powerful economic groups? I know this is something the company has mentioned in its statements, and about how that could impact the investment climate in Russia.
Well, again, I mean, we've mentioned it in our prospectus in terms of risks, but our business is very much a commodity business, and our performance, our economic performance, which I think is what our investors are also mainly concerned about, is very much tied to the global economic climate, and therefore demand for commodities.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. As you say, your performance is very much tied to the global economic climate right now. And of course, there have been concerns about slowing demand for commodities in the developed world, about overheating and inflation in emerging markets. And of course, the fact that emerging markets like China aren't immune to what's happening here in the West as well. I'm just wondering, amidst these difficult market conditions, if you will be seeking any big M&A deals for shares, and also if you can give me a quick response on any plans you might have for dividends in 2011.
Yeah. No, look, again, we're not planning any big M&A at the moment, or any usage of our shares. I mean, our listing was not tied to any specific deal that we had in mind. It really is just further development for us. And the second part of your question, sorry?
No, well, I was asking, you said dividends and the M&A...
dividends,
Well, okay, yes, I mean, no, you answered actually both those questions, but if I can then, Mr. Baizini, if I can put just one more to you about concerns as we head into 2012 about another recession in the West, about how that might impact emerging markets. Are you concerned about how this might affect demand for commodities?
I think in general, yes. I mean, Evraz has the fortune of being one of the lowest cost producers. So what we saw back in 2009 as well is with slowing demand, it tends to be the highest cost producers that get pushed out and not us. And we also were helped back in 2009 by a decreasing ruble or exchange rate. So, you know, maybe this time around it will be the same.
Well, thank you very much indeed, Mr. Giacomo Baizini, Chief Financial Officer of Evraz, which will, shares in the company, of course, will start trading on the UK index from next week. Appreciate it.